It was a frosty December night, and the snow was coming down heavily, turning the winding forest road into a pristine white path. Mira, a teenage girl of 17, was on her way through the woods in her little car. The wind was extremely noisy, and the cold metal parts of the car seemed to be getting colder and trembling as well. Out of nowhere, a large pine tree, the roots of which must have been weakened by the storm, came down right on the car's hood. The impact was loud, the metal crunched, and the car stopped dead. Mira's heart was thumping loud in her chest. She attempted to restart the engine, but it was futile. Not to mention the heater was off, and the cold was getting into her body. Feeling scared came over her like a huge wave. She could hardly breathe. She was so scared that she even tried to talk to herself and said help. But the wind took her voice. It only got worse as the night progressed. Now being totally dark, the snow came down harder, and it was gradually burying the car. She was sitting there trembling, with her eyes wide open, and could feel the cold climbing up her arms. She did not know how long she was there. She thought of her mother's warm kitchen, the smell of fresh bread, the sound of laughter, tiny lights in the darkness. Those memories gave her a flicker of strength. Trying to get out of the car, she did. Unfortunately, the wind that pushed the door against the opening did not help her. She could hardly breathe as the cold wind struck her in the face, and she stood in the deep snow, which was trying to pull off her boots. The hood of the car was damaged, the tree was still there, and the whole was like a nightmare that was going to last forever. Mira tried to talk, but only a whisper came out as she said, "Is there anyone, please?" The answer to her call was only the storm that kept on howling. She kept moving, each step heavy, the snow up to her knees, then her waist. The cold made her fingers numb, her toes turned blue, and a cold dread settled in her chest. She did not give up and kept going until she heard a faint noise. She turned and saw the rescue team coming towards her. Her face was frozen with disbelief, but then the brightness of their jackets gave her hope. Her shouting to them after the road was blocked by the storm, and the power was out, they had searched for her. One of them shouted, "We have found you," and rushed forward. They were sliding the tree away from the car and putting Mira on a stretcher. She was barely conscious, her whole body shaking, and her last call a raw, quivering sound that seemed to cut through the night. The rescuers covering her in thick blankets and handing her warm drinks, then loading her into the ambulance. The trip to the hospital was a mix of white lights and the continuous sounds of heater. Mira was finally able to open her eyes in the hospital. Surrounded by tubes and machines, a nurse with a kind smile said to her, "You are safe now." Mira, who was still cold but was slowly melting away her fear with the warmth of the hospital and the kindness of the rescuers, lay there. She whispered, "I survived." The words felt like a promise. The storm outside continued to rage, but inside the hope was finally back. If you liked the story, please like, share, and subscribe the channel. Thank you.